Welcome to another episode of the IGS So podcast. I'm your host, Chris Hernandez. With me, co-host Mac Doobie, Mac Scully, Mac from the streets, Mac from the hood, Mac 303.
Mac, Manny.
We got freestyles coming out for you every week from now on, hopefully. And as so, we got more episodes for you every week. Today's guest is very special. I don't always give people's government names unless you want it, dude. You want me to say your name or you want to introduce yourself as whatever alias you want?
My name is Tony Sayas, owner of Colorado Barber Supplies.
Hell yeah.
Nice to meet you, brother.
Likewise, bro.
Man, time flies by, man. How long have you been delivering for us already?
Oh, man. About a little bit over 3 years.
I would think more, dude.
Yeah.
Because you've had your van for how long?
I bought it brand new in 2021.
I think you were pulling up before you decorated it.
Yeah. So actually, I was pulling up here when I was working out of my Ford Flex. So,
oh, shit.
Because literally, Aurora was my first route when I first started. And then I started once I started getting to know the area, then I started coming a little bit out here to Thornton. Because, that's where everybody was saying, go out to Thornton. There's a lot of barbershops out there, a lot of barbers. And I think that your services would be welcomed out there, So
yeah, I
came out here when I was actually in my car, servicing out of my truck.
Yeah. What made you transition more towards the product, towards pushing product?
So I'm originally from California, San Diego, and I moved to Florida. And I know that California, everybody finds a way to get their hustle on, you know what I mean? How to get the product to you, When I went to Florida, then I seen it more in depth. And, literally, I don't think in the 9 years that I was out there cutting hair, not one time did I go to...
Speak a little bit closer, bro.
You see how your voice cuts in and out?
Yeah.
It's just that the mic's a little too far away from you.
Okay.
Yeah. Just get a little bit closer.
How about this?
That
Should
sounds
be better,
right.
yeah.
That sounds way better. Just since you kind of have a mellow, low voice, yeah.
So when I went to Florida, I got to see in depth a little bit more of the service that I provide. 9 years that I was out there, I don't think I ever went to Sally's.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, because it was not only one barber supply guy coming through. You had about 3. At the time, there was 4. One of them went out of business, but there was solid 3 barber suppliers that were rotating, and they all worked for different people. You know what I mean? So it was not like just one company.
How did you do that when you were cutting hair? Because, I have people that rotate through here, too, and I feel bad. I'm like, well, fuck, man. If I buy stuff from this guy, Tony's coming next week, and, shit like that. Like, how did you kind of sort that out?
When I first started, I was just being consistent. I wanted to, what do you call guerrilla marketing, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Just in your face every week, knocking on doors, not taking no for an answer. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going nowhere. You know what I mean? And I got what you need.
I mean, basically. You got good products and good prices. I don't see why they just kind of move themselves. You just kind of need to knock on the door.
Yeah, so that was my main thing. I understood that social media and, stuff like it was not going to help me. Not with what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Because who's Colorado Barber Supplies? Colorado Barber Supplies got to come to you and tell you who they are. You know what I'm saying? Or who I am. And so when I moved here in 2020, I actually was working in construction for a little bit, and then little by little I found a barbershop and I started transitioning little by little. So I was working 7 days a week, 5 days in construction, get off at Fridays evening, work till 8, 9 o'clock, then work Saturdays and work Sundays, and then I did that for about 6 months, and then COVID hit and all that. So, but I remember, I said, hey, I didn't know how how it works over here as far as the barbering goes.
Yeah.
So and how they get their products. So I asked one of the barbers. I said, hey, do you guys got any supply guys that come around here? And they're like, supply guys, because they were actually from Florida as well too.
Yeah.
And they knew how the system works over there.
Oh yeah.
So the one guy, he looked at me, he started laughing. He said, yeah, Sally's is just right around the corner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I said, for real? I said, Sally's, and you already know Sally's is like.
I've gotten some shit from Sally's.
And
but
it's actually like the last resort
yeah.
of where you want to go to, because if you're paying a can of Cool Care $10 from me, you're going to go to Sally's and you're going to pay $13, $14, $15 for that same can.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean, they're just not.
They just have more overhead.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and they're more corporated too. You know what I mean? They're all over the country. So, they can afford to have an item sitting there for a whole year. You know what I mean?
Have you thought about that? Where maybe, obviously, I would hustle. I would try to keep moving, even if it means some certain sacrifices. You don't worry about like you think like, oh shit, if I have 6 vans going, yeah, it might be cool, but you're gonna have to kind of go up in prices. Obviously, is that kind of how that works? Because you're gonna have more overhead. You're gonna have 6 trucks. You're gonna have 5 drivers, if that's assuming you drive 1 truck.
Yeah.
I would assume that's kind of how the game goes, right? You kind of have to go up a little bit.
Yeah, and there's a reason why I don't got 6 vans. You know what I mean? Because it's just because I travel from Greeley, as far as Greeley is as north as I go. Colorado Springs is as south as I go.
Yeah.
West is Lakewood, Inglewood, and all that, and then out here Thornton and surrounding cities. So I actually, this January that passed, I had ordered van number 2.
Yeah.
And glad that, things on a personal level happened the way it happened with me getting a divorce and splitting up with my wife and all that, because it put a halt to me getting this van. You know what I mean? And now with how a lot of the economy has just been going up and down, and, the demand for supplies from barbers is so high, but the companies can only put out so much and stuff like that. It would have been completely, I think, devastating to have a second van and not be able to keep it stocked the way I got my van, and not be able to afford to have that van operating while having that overhead on that van. So I do have the one van that I have, you know what I mean? And yes, I feel like at times I'm treading waters because
get a little. I mean, it's normal. You get a little scared.
Yeah, and not that. I think I'm over the fear factor of it. The fear factor was more when I started, when I put all my chips in. I put my whole savings, which it was $3,700.
Yeah, you have to, and it's fucking scary sometimes.
Yeah, and I was like, like coming from a guy that's literally, married, raising my son, bills to pay, everything in reality starts sinking in. But sometimes there's times in your life that you're gonna have to take a chance. You know what I mean? Because you just don't know where that chance is gonna take you to.
Yeah.
Or where it's gonna set you to.
Well, it also sounds like, I mean, obviously no one wants to be at zero, but it sounds to me like you seem to have like a strong mentality. You've always worked. You've worked 7 days a week. You always grind. I'm assuming that comes from just the way you were growing up. Someone raised you that way, or did you have a humble beginning? You had to grow up that way.
It's the opposite. It's where I come from and where I've been at. You know what I mean? I'll be 51 this month. So from 15 all the way till I was 38, I was in a really dark place in my life. You know what I mean? We're talking about 25 years of drug addictions, 20 years in and out of the prison systems, and, just complete destruction. I've kind of like we know somebody who even not even other clients I've seen. You can get, what's the word I'm looking for? Is indoctrinated the right word? Where you get like used to the system, and some people never make it out of the system because they just get used to the system.
I have family who's
is that the right word?
They're like
indoctrinated.
You just think it's easier being inside.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You lose. The more in California, we all know that. They say once you're in the system, you never get out, right? Because of the way the system is set up for people like me. You know what I mean? Or like us brown people and stuff like that. I grew up in a barrio, you know what I mean, where, it was gang infested. That was the life that we lived. That was a survival. There was nothing outside of that we thought was possible. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, like you said, you're indoctrinated, and then you feel. Then what happens is the more time you put into it, the more you don't see a clear picture no more.
Or outside that.
Outside of that, you just see what's in front of you. Like, well, this is the life that this is me. Yeah. You know what I mean? And for people that live life out there, by the rules, will probably, these guys are just lazy. They don't know. But you don't understand sometimes, that when you grow up in a certain type of environment, and then you become part of that environment, and then that environment takes over your life and your soul and your mind, everything that you do.
Yeah, it becomes you.
It's you. So the more time you put into it, then the less clear the picture becomes, and then you just pretty much lose hope. You know what I'm saying? And then until an event happens in your life where either you're going to make that transition and put yourself through that meat grinder, or continue to do that and then see, where there's two things. You're going to die, you're going to get killed, or you're going to end up doing time, life in prison. So,
or both.
Or both, right?
Yeah.
Because you can lose your life in prison as well, too. You know what I mean? So, for me, it was my son. You know what I mean? My son came into the picture, my only boy. I got two other daughters that I had not, I didn't raise them. I was always in prison. And when he came into the picture, then I don't know what happened. When on my way to the prison that I was going to go get sent to, for some reason I got sent to a prison that normally I would have never thought I would get sent to, which it was a substance abuse program in a maximum security prison. The system over there is very segregated. You know what I mean? You fall into the category of
certain group of people.
If you're in the South, you run with the Sureños. If you're with the Norteños, or if you're black, or whatever, vice versa, whatever. It's not like, I don't know how the system's set over here where you get, celled up with just anybody. Over there, it doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? So I ended up getting sent to the substance abuse facility, and I was like, I always knocked the 12-step program. I always knocked, that route.
Self-help.
Yeah, I always thought, you know what, that shit, you either going to do it or you're not going to do it, But then I ended up signing up for some of these classes. Anger management. I had a lot of anger issues, since I was little. I was raised with my grandparents, and my grandfather was very, very, very abusive. Very old school. It was just, you couldn't even drop a pin without getting in trouble. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I knew I grew up with a lot of anger. I grew up with a lot of behavior issues. You know what I'm saying? And I acted out there in the streets.
Sometimes you don't even know that till you take time to examine your own brain.
Absolutely. Yeah, but it takes time. Because it's like
spend your whole life.
It's like an addict, right? So they say we're always addicts to the day we die, right? Because even though I could see people.
You could just relapse whenever.
Yeah,
basically.
Exactly. I'm just happen to be in a state of mind now where I can see certain things, I can be around certain things, but I made up my mind. You know what I mean? Only because I've seen that dark side of me. I've been OD'd. I've been getting airlifted to the hospital. I've seen death. You know what I mean? So my mind is made up. You know what I mean? There's no if and buts about it. You know what I'm saying? So back to my son, I knew that I was gonna get out to a son that was gonna be young enough. He was gonna be, I think when I got out, he was 2, going on 3 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. And I grew up with a lot of my, the homeboys and all that their sons were following their footsteps.
Yeah.
Doing the same thing. And
well, it's all in your role models.
Yeah.
Growing up, did you have like a father role model?
No, my father's been zero existence in my life. You know what I mean? My grandfather was it. You know what I'm saying? And he was not the greatest role model because of the way he disciplined us. You know what I'm saying? And I know that he meant well. It's just he just didn't know any better. You know what I
Some
mean?
people just don't know better.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and then you come from those 1920s and 30s, they were getting the shit beat out of them. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
just
by
on
the
discipline.
neighbors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so that's how I grew up. You know what I mean?
But
So
that was a big motivator for you, like to want to fill those shoes that maybe your male father figure never filled. You know, for your son. That's one reason. That's my strongest motivation. Is I know that like if a kid doesn't have a father figure, like his chances of being in bad shape growing up is just, I think it's how they say, increases by like 40-50%.
Absolutely, 100%. It's like those statistics, and I think it might be even a little bit higher than that, bro.
Maybe especially now.
You know what I mean?
Dude.
Yeah.
It's kids,
especially in this generation now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
It increases the percentage for even worse. You know what I mean? Just like even parents now that are just working, you know, both parents are working, you know, they could barely make ends meet. Social media and everything else is raising your kids.
Yeah.
Your kids walk out that door, they no longer belong to you. They belong to the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And everything they're exposed to. You know what I mean?
There's all these things that are fucked up being pushed onto them at this
absolutely.
age.
You know what I mean? And, you know, like indoctrination, you know what I mean? Shit like that. In a different category with them. So I knew that I had to make a change. So I did what I had to do for those 3 years and some change that I was in that facility. And I said, you know what? I'm going to give these classes a try.
And when you were did they ever offer you any kind of, because they offer them now, any kind of treatments with psychedelics?
No.
No?
Nah, what you mean in the system?
In the system?
No,
I know you need to go to a doctor and shit for it,
yeah.
but have you ever tried hallucinogenics?
Back in the days, I was on PCP, the mushrooms, acid and stuff like that, but I took them in for different reasons. You know what I mean?
Aggressive way, yeah.
It wasn't anything to try to heal.
Mushrooms can be healing.
Yeah, but if you take them the right way,
and
if you actually,
you gotta also be in the right state of mind and stuff like that.
Absolutely, you gotta be in a place in your life where you feel you need something to either heal something mentally, or it could be spiritually, or whatever it is that's gonna help you move forward. You know,
people always complain, or I've heard them scared of the bad trip. Sometimes that's your brain telling you need to fucking straighten up, and you just can't accept the truth that your mind is telling you, and you're like, oh no, and you start freaking the fuck out. But you're stressing out because it's trying to tell you something, like something you don't want to admit to yourself sometimes. But you got to do it in the right environment. If you're doing it in a party environment, it's not the same thing at all.
But you know, by nature, what people are more afraid of is the truth.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The truth of themselves, right? Nobody wants to evaluate themselves and actually have to admit or accept that there is something wrong with you.
Yeah.
You know, mentally or whatever, or your addiction, or when I was in my addiction, it was like, even though I was all fucked up, it didn't matter. You couldn't tell me that I had a problem, because I didn't have a problem. I got this under control.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not until, like I said, you have to hit certain type of rock bottoms, or you have to go through certain chapters in your life while this is happening to you to make you realize, like, yes, I am the problem. And I got to stop blaming people around me.
Well, that's easy to do. I used to do that too.
We all do it.
Yeah.
I think there's no person that can say they don't do it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's just as we get older and we start gaining understanding, then we start saying, you know what? I'm going to start pointing the finger at myself, because that you're not making me do what I'm doing. You're not the cause of my adult decisions.
No.
You see what I'm saying?
No one's coming to save you.
Absolutely. No, so, but when you are in that pit, then everybody else is the problem. The blame is on everybody else. The blame is in society, or because the white man this, the white man that, and I'm brown, and no, you know what? I think, you get your mind out of that and put your mind to yourself and what you can do, and not worry about nothing else. Then I think that's when you start progressing in life. That's when you start moving forward in life. You know what I'm saying? And
one thing I want to ask you, I see like you've been explaining yourself more in like a literal way. Like I don't think, unless I heard wrong, but I haven't heard you in any one of these situations where you say you got better, say like thank God, because
God is the centerpiece of my life.
Yeah,
I just,
was
the
gonna-
reason I don't get too religious is because I don't know.
No.
You know what I
where
mean?
where I was
Yeah.
going with that is like, see, okay, if there is a God, there is a God. I don't know whether there is or isn't. I don't think anybody can say whether there is or isn't, but I feel like you have more self-discipline than some people look for a God as a reason for discipline. Like they can use God as a discipline, but they also rely sometimes too much on their quote unquote God. When you should be able to just take self-discipline, okay, I need to fucking do this. I can't I can't wait for something to happen.
I get what you're saying, and and yes, once you take accountability yourself, but I just believe that we're not here by coincidence, and somebody's responsible for this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something or somebody, and I do believe in God. You know what I mean? My mother was a Christian-based woman.
Yeah.
And those are the beliefs that was taught to us. And I still, to this day, believe strongly that there is a God. You know what I mean? I should be a little bit more closer, to Him. But when it comes down to it, I believe that there is a higher power that's actually living within me that's helping me with my life, with the decisions I'm making now. You know what I mean? Because there's just no way where I was in that evil state of mind that God had anything to do with that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? There was a evil force.
Well, it's weird. It could have been. Maybe He was pushing you to the bottom so you could rise up. You never know.
Yeah, and you know what? And that's possible too.
Maybe if you were all up, something else would have happened.
Yeah, absolutely. Or I wouldn't be here talking to you guys right now too. So, there's so many scenarios that we can paint right here.
Yeah.
I just can say that, you know what? Yes, I believe that I could not have done this by myself. You know what I mean? And yes, it took the willpower and the mindset to change how I was living my life and to start looking at things different. You know what I mean? Going back, kind of rewinding back to what you were saying, that sometimes us growing up in this environment, we feel like that's it. This is where we belong, right? And very true. But once you change that mindset, you know what I'm saying, and you believe, okay, I'm not gonna be afraid to trying to go this route and having to suffer the pain to get to where I want to be at. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is with people in that
They
life.
don't want to get out of their comfort zone.
Absolutely.
And stuff like that.
It's scary.
Because you know that you actually got to go out there and get it.
Yeah.
You actually have to go through the minimum wage. You're actually going to have to get a job and hold a job. And then your paycheck becomes a joke when you look at it. You know what I mean? Even though you earn, but it's like, damn, I'm only getting, for all these hours, I'm getting $400.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And then what comes into your mind? I can make this in 5 minutes. I can go right now across the street and go over here, hit this person, and in 5 minutes I can get this $400.
Yeah.
It's a mindset thing, right? So once you are willing to accept that and put yourself through that meat grinder to recreate yourself, you know what I mean, and understand, okay, this is how people do it. This is how society actually has that milk and honey, that little piece of the pie that everybody's striving for. They have to go through this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And once I decided to do that, I got the ball rolling. Then things actually, it's a trip. Things started actually get better. And things, opportunities came and doors were open. You know what I'm saying? I have an 8th grade education. No more than 8th grade education. And when I went to barber school, okay, on week 1, I told the instructor, I said, you know what? I don't even know why I'm here. I said, I don't understand any other curriculum that you're explaining or you're reading out of. I could barely read the book. You know what I'm saying? And let alone go through 1,200 hours.
How did you get into barbers? Because I remember here when I went, if you didn't have a high school degree, they didn't accept you.
Yeah, so in Florida it was a little bit different. Actually, when I graduated that year, they implemented the GED. So I lucked out. You know what I mean? After that, they were required that you had at least a GED
Yeah.
to be accepted. So I barely skated through. You know what I mean? And but
I mean, what is that? You said you only had an 8th grade education. You passed the GED, right?
No, I don't even have a GED.
Oh, I was because what do you know what kind of grade level you need to even pass a GED? I would say
I think you just got to pass the test, right?
I got my GED, but I dropped out of high school like probably junior year.
Would you say based on what you remember that like a 9th grader could pass that?
I don't know.
The reason I ask because I feel like our fucking education system's a little out of whack too. It's a little dumbed down.
Well, it's getting worse now. Now they're teaching, you know, and I don't want to get too political here, but look what they're teaching now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You know, gender identity shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that's not
cool, man.
to me, it's like, nah, you know what? Let that kid be a kid and let that kid figure that shit out. You know what I mean? Just because one boy decides that, you know, he thinks that, you know, the little doll is interesting doesn't make him
a girl.
Yeah. And the girl's playing with the Hot Wheel because it's a cool little car that she likes to play with doesn't mean that she wants to be a boy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't change that. You know what I'm saying? So I just think it's getting even worse. That's why this generation got it really bad. And it's so fucked up because they're believing it and they're falling into it.
I have this conspiracy theory that foreign nations that want to take us down have been slowly just mind fucking us with all this stuff and putting it into our algorithm little by little.
And you know, and
you're right about that. There's like even when I was a kid, like I still don't understand what, like, to this day, like why, but they would give you like fluoride tablets and shit, and I had to take those, and
they said that was like to help you
your teeth and stuff, but that shit makes you like docile or something. Like I've read studies on it. It makes you like complacent and docile and just other weird shit that it does to your brain. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like I remember a full year where we were taking those, and that's what they were telling us, that it's for your teeth and this and that, and like. But yeah, it's just weird
I remember
shit.
that, bro. It's like a purplish.
It was just a little tablet that they would give it to us every day. I was born in 91, so I was like maybe first grade. It was maybe like 96, 97 or something like that. But I vaguely remember, like, you know, they had everyone sign permission slips for your parents, and they told them the same thing, that it was for your teeth and stuff. But I definitely believe, just between that and the shit we eat and the shit here in America, like, it just fucking fucks with the kids' brains.
Even those.
Well, even just your health, it's so fucked up now. I think our lifespan is shortening. Our average lifespan.
There's like microplastics and all this crazy shit that like just fuck you up. Like,
listen,
nowadays.
my mom, rest her soul, she passed at 54 from a blood clot to her lung, right? But she had existing problems too, but. Putting that in perspective, just a couple weeks ago, there's a friend of mine, she's a notary, and I said, hey, listen, I need to put a will together. You know what I mean? I never thought about putting a will together, you know? And I put a will together, very detailed, you know what I'm saying, and a medical power of attorney to my son, because you just never know, you know what I mean? And I'm preparing myself, you know, because I'm gonna be 51 this year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, it's not old yet, but you know, it's not young either. You know what I'm saying?
Keep yourself healthy.
Yeah, well,
there's some shitty looking 51-year-olds.
Yeah, but you know, I exercise, I eat right.
Yeah.
You look good for your age,
January 1st will be 5 years that I've been totally sober.
Yeah. No, that makes a huge difference, dude.
It makes a big difference, you know. So, and then 2005, you know, was the last time that I even shot up any drugs, you know what I mean, through my veins. So, you know, I've been, you know, like I said, from 5 years ago to now is when I know that I'm in a different stage in my life. Mentally, I just know where I'm at, and there's nothing in this world, you know what I mean, no tragedy, no nothing that's gonna take me away from that. You know what I'm saying? I've made up my mind. And I believe that I'm more functional now that I am sober, and I'm more aware, and I can be able to deal, because I deal with the masses, you know what I'm saying? I deal with hundreds of barbers, dozens and dozens of barber shops. And I always want to be I want to pay attention to details. Even when I come in, you know, I always look for Chris. He's the owner. I always look for the owner to see. Them are the first ones I always greet.
Yeah.
They're opening my doors. They to keep my business going and allow me to do what I do. You know what I mean? So it's important for me to have a relationship with the owners, you know what I'm saying, and give them that respect.
Oh, yeah.
Because the way I see it too, I'm sure, Chris, this nobody came and said, "Here, Chris, this is your barbershop." You know what I mean? There was a process to this. You know what I'm saying? And work that was put into to get this. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, compared to a lot of people who had to hustle from the bottom, I can't say that my beginning was that hard. My beginning was my mom. She learned how to cut hair along with her sister and 2 of her brothers, and they came over here, and they opened up their first Californias here in '99. And at the time here, that was when Denver was still not as many fucking people. Like it was really different back then. How long have you been here?
Been here since 2020.
Oh, okay,
No, my bad. 2019.
Oh yeah, so like
2019.
2000 was a different day. Like it was way different here.
Even when I first moved here, I got here in like 2011.
Yeah, it was way different.
But it was.
As soon as weed got legalized here, things just popped off here when it comes to population and everything went up. But anyways, when my mom got here, the salon scene just wasn't that big. Mm-hmm. And, you know, she just came with this new hungry ambition. She did it right. At one point, she had like 8 to 10 shops running at one time, dude.
Right.
So
outstanding.
So I can't say that I had it hard, man. Like my mom, like she always did what she had to do. I didn't see my mom a lot because she was fucking hustling all day. Like imagine running 10 shops.
Right.
And but how I got into cutting hair was I just always grew up there. You know, imagine I was a cash register kid when I was fucking 10 to whenever I started cutting hair at 14. And it came to a point where I was running this shop. This shop was my brother's. And I would just run it for him, send him his money. But he's in the Air Force.
Yeah.
So he's never here. And it came to a point where it was either school or invest in what I'm doing now. And I decided to invest in here, just keep this place instead of spending my money in school.
Right.
Yeah.
But even though your mom, she laid the foundation, you still had to find your niche on how to establish this.
No, definitely.
Location.
I could have been a fuck up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Easily, yeah.
You know, because they can say they can teach you the blueprint. You know what I'm saying? And you can take that with you and then say, okay, I got the layout, I got everything, and now I'm going to take a different path, a different type of work ethic, or you know what I mean? I'm going to employ a different type of people or whatever it might be. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So you still have to put in some type of work. You know what I mean? Like I said, from when I first started coming here to what it is now, the shop is way different than when I first came here. Way different from 3 years ago. But it's the work that you put in, your vision. You know what I mean? Shit, you got a podcast now. You know what I'm saying? So this is work at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So there's people that don't understand this type of grind. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? When you go to sleep and you close your eyes and you're still thinking. You know what I mean? Or you wake up in the middle of the night, oh, damn, you know what? I just got another idea. You know what I'm saying? You know, there's a different level to this type of work ethic and this type of grind.
This style is a combination of, for me at least, it's a style of something I just like doing.
Yeah.
And hopefully if it could make money someday, fuck yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah. But it's like, I remember when I first started cutting hair, dude, like, I used to fucking love cutting hair. I couldn't wait to buy a new fucking clipper, buy a new smock, a new cape, you know, show it off, this new little trick I learned, this or that, right? But it just gets boring with time. You know, you get used to being behind the chair for 12 years. You're just like, fuck.
Yeah.
And so this is just something new. I like it, dude. I love talking to people. Yeah. I learn a lot about people. You get an education you can't get somewhere else from just talking to different people in different professions.
Absolutely.
Like my favorite podcast to listen to is Joe Rogan. Because he talks to like everybody.
He's one of the best. Yeah, he and even if he disagrees with you, even if he doesn't believe in your idea or whatever, he gives you the platform to
explain why not.
You know what? Convince me at least.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or put me on that same and that's and even I mean I don't know if you guys follow Elon Musk or even listen to him.
I listen to him somewhat, but he's a little too smart for my. I can't.
Yeah, he is smart, but you know what? He'll come down to our level too. And understand our struggle, and he'll understand. You know, I seen a clip, and he was getting interviewed by somebody, and they said, so and so, they're gonna pull their advertisement because of your political beliefs, and he just stopped them right there. He said, wait a minute, and because the guy was trying to get an apology from Elon Musk.
Yeah.
And Elon Musk said, wait a minute, who? And the actual person that was pulling the ads is one of the main guys from Disney, and he was actually sitting in the audience. Oh. And he says, well, then he can pull it. You know what I mean? If that's what and then the guy's like, what do you mean? Like, pull the ads? And he's like, yeah, pull the ads. You know what I mean? He said, you're, and then he said, you're going to try to hijack me by how you say it? When you're trying to, what is it called? Damn, bro.
Just putting pressure on him to go towards your narrative.
He said, you're going to blackmail me. You know what I mean? With the ad, you're gonna blackmail me over money. He says, then go ahead and pull it. And then he says, you know what? Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
And then everything went quiet. And then he looked at it, and then he emphasized it. And he says, yeah, he can go fuck himself.
Oh,
Is that clear enough? And then he looked to the audience. And he says, hi, Bob. And it was the actual
it was Bob Iger.
Yeah, from
gangster,
Disney.
Dude.
But that goes to show that this man is not going to be pushed over by these elite people. You know what I mean? Even though he makes about $1 billion a month or whatever it is that he's making.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He intellectually and he's in touch.
I think he's different. He's in touch with something else, dude.
As a man of money and that kind of money, and the way he lives and the way he sees the world, is totally unorthodox than your billionaires like Donald Trump and everybody else. He don't give a fuck. He bought Twitter for all this money, and Twitter wasn't even worth that kind of money.
No,
but it was because he wanted to change the platform on how they were put, the way that the politics of, how they were running Twitter. He's like, no, I'm going to change this shit.
He said he felt like he had a due to the people.
Absolutely. And see, you need more people like that.
Yeah.
You need more people to tell Bob, fuck you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Go fuck yourself. Take your fucking money. Take all your fucking people. I don't need you. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that, you know what? You need people like that are on that type of status, you know what I mean, to stand up. And actually, it's like he's actually looking out for people like me and you. You know what I mean?
I feel like he's on some other different level. Like, he's just a little bit ahead of a normal human, I feel like, because I don't even think he looks at money as money. You don't find it kind of scary that the world's richest person his main goal is for us to get off of this planet? That's kind of fucking scary,
bro.
Yeah,
he knows something. He's when they're saying that chess players, they move 3, 4, 5 moves ahead. I think he's already at checkmate.
Yeah.
By the time you made your 5 moves.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm fascinated. I do a lot of driving around and I listen to a lot of podcasts, but I just don't listen to just anybody. I don't listen to bullshit.
Yeah.
I listen to people that are bringing good content, stuff that I can feel like, okay, you know what? That's real. That's some real shit.
You can gain something.
Absolutely, and that I can relate to.
Yeah.
Even if it's from Elon Musk, Joe Rogan. You know what I'm saying? A guy that just that literally comes level down, and he literally he'll hear you out.
He's just right in the middle.
And you know what? Okay, but he'll ask you questions. Well, what about this? What about that? And you know what? I look at it this way. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes he questions people, or I'm like, damn, he questioned them like that. And he's like, well, I have evidence that this happened, so you might be wrong.
He just grills them and shit. He don't care.
And another thing about Joe Rogan, he does his research.
Oh, yeah.
He will not speak on anything that he has not read himself or researched himself. You know
He's also really good at not claiming a point without knowing 100%. So he always says, like, I might be wrong. Double check that, and
he'll have him fact check it. You know what I mean? And that's actually that's just the way to go. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people will go Google this. Google's not always right.
Oh yeah,
there's a lot of bullshit on Google too. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta know your sources and
absolutely.
Shit like that.
And I think that's where the value in this is to be informed, to inform yourself. If you're gonna talk about something, you're gonna bring something up in a podcast or whatever, that know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah,
I can talk
always.
about my business and how I got there and everything, because you know what, I did my research. You know what I mean? I go to certain areas and I know certain salaries. What's the when I was working in Parker and I started as a barber, I came in and I was doing barbershop prices, but then I started researching what was the average income. We're talking about 7 figures on average in that city, right?
Yeah.
And I started thinking, so how can I make more money? You know what I mean? Without having to cut 20 people a day. How can I make, what kind of service can I implement, you know what I mean, as to offer to maximize not only the income, but shorten how many people I do. And I figured that out. So I restructured my prices, my services, and I narrowed them down. It's like going to a restaurant where you go and you see a menu that has 50 items in them, and you're there and you're like, fuck, what do I order, right?
Yeah.
So dumb it down a little bit, you know what I mean? And that's what I did. I brought it down and I started with my most expensive and the most elite service at the very top on my app. You know what I mean? Because when you started comparing the prices from the regular haircut included with the beard trim and the shaves and everything, I kept them off no more than $7 or $8 on that one service alone. Because my goal was to make $100 an hour, right? So my service, that service that I had, that elite service, was $80 for that service, and then they typically tip you $20, $25. You know what I mean? So my thing was, if I can just have 4 or 5 of those a day, and then maybe have regular service, then I'm making $650 a day, and I'm cutting under 10 people a day to make that kind of money.
That's the way to do it.
But I understood where I was at. I can't come over here to Thornton and do that.
No.
Yeah.
Because you got a barbershop that's just down the street that is still charging $20 a haircut.
And they're good too.
Yeah, exactly. And they have 8 barbers, and then you got 30 people in the waiting area waiting for that haircut. You know what I'm saying? So you just can't come over here and say, oh, well, I'm going to go ahead and charge.
It's just like supply and demand.
Absolutely.
Just anywhere you go.
Yeah. So, and then if you're in a place like Parker, Castle Rock, or anything like that, then there's people that don't care too much about the price. What they care is about the service,
Yeah.
and about what you got to offer and what kind of customer service do you bring. What kind of person are you? That's what they care about more. You know what I mean? They'll just hand you the credit card, not even ask you how much is the haircut or the service. You know what I mean? They're not looking for where is it's cheapest to get it at and get the most. They're looking for a quality place to go sit at where they don't have to deal with all the nonsense and all the bullshit. And you got a barber over there with the client fucking passing a blunt back and forth. Or you got so-and-so over there, you know what I mean, and this and that, you know what I mean? And you got a mom with her son waiting in the waiting area to get a haircut.
Yeah.
You have to know your surroundings. You got to know who's coming into your door.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you want this to just be a hood barbershop, that's fine. Then you're going to get hood people. You get robbed, you get assaulted or whatever, you set that tone. You set that culture for those people to come in.
That's
See
very
what I'm
true.
saying? You know what I mean? When I was going to barbershops, in my early teens, that was a long time ago, you could have banked to go in a barbershop at 7 o'clock in the morning, and it'll be full.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And all you had behind the chairs were number gentlemen. Gentlemen, clean cut, you know what I mean? Proper. And they all from the ghetto. I mean, nobody goes to Princeton or Yale to go to be a barber.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? These are people like me and you getting licenses. You know what I'm saying? So they understood that they are the community. You know what I'm saying? And that community is constantly coming in, and how many times do we hear, you know what I mean, when not too long ago, a barber, he passed away at, I don't know, he was like in his 80s or something like that, cutting for 70-something years.
God damn, that's gotta be rough. Fuck.
Okay, no, but check this out. His funeral was the biggest funeral that I think it was in Ohio or something like that, that part of the city ever had in its history. Everybody and their mama, from the oldest to the youngest generation, was coming to that man's funeral. And I seen it on Instagram. It was beautiful too, bro. The procession was, it was almost like they had to shut down the whole city for that man.
Oh wow.
You know what I mean? But that's an example of one.
Yeah, like
you know
one.
what I mean?
Like I joked around with my wife one time. I was telling her, like, if I ever die spontaneously, I've thought about it. Put a fucking jar, and I have enough clients where if they all donate $20, you got the funeral covered at least.
Yeah, but see, you established that.
Yeah.
See, and that's important.
15 years of fucking work.
And that's why I say a lot of barbers do not understand the power they have behind a chair. You see what I'm saying? I understood it, and I started cutting hair at 38.
Yeah.
When I decided to turn my life around, I had everything to lose. You know what I mean? And everything to gain. The reason why is because, oh, wait, it's never too late to start. I said, yeah, but when you're at 38 years old, trying to ask society to give you a chance and then have to air out your laundry of, yeah, I've been convicted of a felony. This is what I've been convicted of. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, there's a stop sign. There's red lights.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I understood that coming in, the reason I got into barbering was because of my mother-in-law, rest her soul. She was a barber for 35 years. And early on, she would see me and she said, you're really good at what you're doing. And I'm like, I said, what do you mean, Mom? And she said, you always got money. You always dress clean. You don't work. You hustle very well. She said, well, why don't you get into barbering? Same thing, same concept. It's a hustle. If you understand behind the chair, you know what I mean? Then you will understand that hustle is unlimited. Yeah, mom, you don't worry about it. And I will go away for 4 years. And I'll come back and then I'll go get me a haircut from her. And she'll tell me the same thing. He said, when you're ready. He said, when you're ready, you know what I mean? He said, you're wasting your time out there. You know, and I'll go back, 3 years. You know, it wasn't until the last time I got out that when I got done with my parole and everything, I decided to say, you know what? I'm going to give this barbering thing a try because I don't know how to do anything else.
Yeah. I
got no trades. I have no work experience. I got no education. Then I might as well go ahead and try something, you know what I mean, that I might be good at. So when I started school, the only day that I missed out of that year was to take my son to the emergency room.
Oh, shit.
It was the only day. I was graduating, and there was people that had already started 6 months prior to me and didn't even have half of the hours that I already was graduating with.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they were taking so much time off. You know what I mean? But I knew, I'm like, you know what? I'm not here for that. I have a purpose. You know what I'm saying? I don't got time to waste. I already wasted a lot of time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And kind of rewind back when I told that teacher that I was wasting my time, that I didn't know that I was in a getting where she told me one thing. She said, sit in front of my desk. You sit in front of my desk and you just pay attention to everything I tell you and you listen to every word I say every time I read the book. He said, by the time you get ready to take your final test, it'll be repetitive. You're going to be familiarized with all the questions. And she was right, bro. I went and took the test, and I passed it with 85%.
Oh, yeah.
Then I scheduled myself for the state board. They said the state board was going to be a little bit more difficult. And so I was scheduled out 3 weeks from taking the state board. And those 3 weeks, she had what it was called power jams for all the graduates.
You practice.
She would sit in the middle, and she'll fire a question. What's this, and this, and that? You know what I mean? What's polypeptide and this and that? You know what I mean? Like, and for 3 weeks, all I did was just refresh everything. I went to go take the state board. And state board, when they give you your test, they give it to you close. So you don't know until you open it whether you pass or failed.
Yeah, you're not supposed to open it till you leave the building, but me and my buddies, we all open in the elevator. We're like, fuck that.
Well, okay. Well, in Florida, that's exactly. So when I came out, there was an elevator that was taking us down.
Yeah.
And I pressed the button, and I was scared. I don't even know, bro. I've never been scared, of things like that, But I was scared. My heart was pounding.
Did you fuck up in any kind of way?
Nah, bro. I opened it up and it said passed. I ran right back. I pushed open the door and I passed. passed. I fucking passed the damn test. And everybody's looking at me that's taking the test. You know, it just took over me. And I felt like I got a master's degree because I've never achieved anything in my life. So to get certified in something, you know what I mean? To me, it meant everything. But that was just the beginning, because now I had to go out there and prove to the public that I can actually cut hair. And if you know anything about Florida's barbering, they're at an elite level compared to anywhere in the United States. So everything trickles down. Not even New York. New York has fashion. You know what I mean? Florida has looks. You got people going in with, you got beard and your haircut and beard 1 week, and then you go back the next week to go get it, you know, retouched. You know what I mean? And that's constantly. So I knew that I had to find a way to capitalize on people's weaknesses, even if they were at an elite level. You know what I mean? I already knew that going in and not knowing how to cut hair was already a disadvantage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Coming into a new barbershop and people not knowing you, that was another disadvantage. You see what I'm saying? So when I did get into a barbershop, all I did was, for the first 2 to 3 months, all I did was just stand next to barbers that were at an elite level, and I would watch everything they did, and I would go back to my chair. And when I did get that walk in, that would sit in my chair, they would tell me, I want this. Well, I'm gonna do what this guy did.
Yeah, try
and just emulate it. And if they weren't happy with it, you know how many I gave out so many free haircuts, bro. If I knew that they were not happy with it, and I would read the body language, I would turn them around and I say, look, brother, you know what? If you're not happy with the haircut, I'm not gonna make you pay for that haircut, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what? You're not leaving with the haircut you want, but it's not the worst haircut either. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You could either come back, you can sit with another barber, or give me another chance. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, and see if I can perfect it.
Well, just even that you said right there, not a lot of people have the knowledge or the courage to just admit that.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. But you know what? But I understood my place in that barbershop. It was called Fade Masters for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And that this guy has 7 of them in Tampa. You know what I mean? And he hired nothing but the best. So to hire me and bring me in, but he brought me in and he told me, he says, you know why I hired you? Because I seen how hungry you are. You know what I mean? And I seen that you really, really, you're going to be successful. You know what I mean? And only if you put that effort into. So me coming into Fade Masters at that time, it was like, it took me an hour to do my first haircut, bro. Sweating.
That sucks on the first one.
From nervousness. Oh, yeah. And I got everybody looking at you.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens when you got a high volume barbershop. You got a waiting area where you got 20 people there. They're just looking at who's cutting everybody's haircut. And then I stood out like a sore thumb because here I am in a full sweat. You know what I mean? And I'm there they can see how nervous I am.
Yeah.
But you know what? I overcame that because I knew this is do or die for me. Because if and don't forget, while I was going to school, I was a dishwasher at a Japanese sushi bar place. You know what I mean? And I was bringing in $287. I remember that. Every 2 weeks, $287. I give it to my wife. I say, here, just, you know, pay the insurance and, you know, and then the next check, pay the carp note, you know. They never seen anything like that, you know. So I understood that job alone kept me grounded and pushing me even harder. Only because I knew, I'm like, you know what? This is what I'm going to resort to.
Yeah.
If I don't make it into this fucking barbering thing. You know what I mean? I'm going to be a dishwasher. I'm going to be a laborer for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? You know, so when I went to barbering, I took it really serious, bro. And then I started seeing what barbers where their weak points were at. Being late, canceling, going out, and, you know, their clients are in their chair, and I'm watching them, and they're like this, you know what I mean? Pissed off. They won't say nothing to the barber. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they'll make their fucking gestures.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is okay. You know,
yeah.
I look at it from a business owner side now too, and like, there's times where I've had to make up for one of my employees' fuck ups. Like, I don't know why the fuck so and so isn't here, bro. I'm sorry that he booked you It's like I say, if I'm available, I'll be like, if you want, I can cut your hair. I'll hook you with a discount for waiting.
Yeah.
Sometimes I end up taking some of their clients, but you know they know they fucked up.
Yeah, but it's all on them.
Yeah.
And so what I did was I said, okay, I'm gonna level up on my skills, practice on that. So it took me 2 years to be that comfortable to where I already knew how to cut every texture hair, any type of people that came in through the door. Then what I was doing in the process was watching what Joe was doing over there. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you know, his client is not happy because of this, because they'll voice it, you know what I mean, to other people, not to them, but they'll voice it to other people.
Yeah.
So what I did is I capitalized on that, and by year 3, Joe over there is one of the best barbers in the barber shop, but yet he had the least clients. Tony over here had the least experience, way less talent than that. And I was booked. I was booked.
You don't have to be the best barber to be booked.
But it's just, if you understand your place behind the chair, you know what I mean, and you understand their time, that's their time, not yours. You know what I'm saying? And you respect that, you can't fail, man. It's 10 times out of 10, you nailed it.
Nowadays, I feel like you even need that more because the barber culture has grown so much. You need to stand out. And I feel like back in the day, it was more of going to see the shop versus going to that barber. Like back then, like you can go to Freddy's and get a good cut with anybody, you know?
Yeah.
But also the quality of haircuts and the level of complicatedness in the haircut has changed from the 90s to these haircuts we give out now.
Yeah.
Like they're way different. But where I'm getting at is like you need to have that discipline and that marketing mentality of yourself because you're selling yourself. You're renting from me. It's not my responsibility for you to be booked. You're just renting. You got to sell yourself.
Absolutely.
And it's hard to get that across some people's heads sometimes. And I try to give them my experience, like something so simple, bro. Where like if I see that I hire somebody and they're having trouble keeping up with their appointments. I've had people, I'm like, dude, check this out. Here's this app I've been using for 10 years. And it sounds like, okay, I'll give it a try, right? That's what you would say if your fucking boss is telling you or giving you a good recommendation. You can see that I'm busier than everybody. Mm-hmm. And I don't think you even see that at a lot of barbershops where the owner is the busiest.
Right.
Most of the time, he's just chilling.
Absolutely.
But also maybe he worked his way up to being able to chill, right?
Right.
But it's not that I'm the best barber. I think I have barbers here that are way better than me, but I'm the busiest.
Oh, yeah.
And something like that, I can't even get them to do that sometimes, or they don't get it. I don't know if it's just like being hard-headed, or if they're just like, nah, I know what I'm doing, or if it's just like they're scared to try it. I don't fucking know.
Yeah. Well, you know, I don't know. You can lead the horse to the water, but you can't make a drink. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? And that's what we're dealing with nowadays is that, you know, you have a lot of, you know, everybody's self-employed until they got to make real decisions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's now up to the owner. Well, you know, it's the owner's, you know, job to promote the shop and this and that. No, hold up. The owner's been here for how long? 15 years? Oh, this is an established shop. You know what I mean? What are you not doing to bring in your clientele?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When I started in Parker, I asked the owners for permission to let me use their logo.
Uh-huh.
But I told them, I said, and they asked me, why do you want to use it? I told them, I said, well, I live in a complex of, it was like 600 units or something like that, right? So I kind of started doing the math, you know? And I told them, I said, I'm going to print out 1,000 flyers, and I'm gonna pass them out to my whole complex. I'm put one in everybody's door. Out of 1,000, 10% of that is 100, and at least out of those 100 people, 50 people at least contact me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I told him, I said, the only thing is I am not going to put your contact on there. I'm not going to put your address. I'm going to promote myself because I'm going to put all my haircuts on one side, and I'll put your logo on it so they know where to come. You know what I mean? My bad. I did put the address. It was their contact, like their booking and their phone number. And that's exactly what I told them I was not going to do. You know what I mean? And they're like, hey, at the end of the day, you're bringing in people. You know what I'm saying? So they understood, like, okay, this guy, he has a plan. You know what I mean? And with that plan, you're possibly not only bringing people to yourself, you're also going to bring other people to the barbershop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I understood that. That's why I told him, I said, I just need for you guys to give me that permission to use your logo. And I got all my best haircuts, and I printed them out on the other side. You know what I mean? And I had all races. I had Spanish, I had blacks, I had Asians, I had whites, I had kids, I had everything. Old people, shaves, I had all the little pictures in there. You know what I mean? And I passed them all out. You know what I'm saying? But I knew that, you can use social media if you know how to use it. A lot of barbers want to follow other barbers.
Yeah.
That's not where it's at. Follow your clients. Follow your clients. Have a relationship with your client that, listen, I'm going to take this picture of you. I'm going to go ahead and post it. I'm going to tag you on you. Can you please repost? Yeah. Why? Because out of your 2,000 of your people are going to see it, and out of your 4,000 people are going to see it. You know what I'm saying? And then it trickles down, and then everybody else is seeing it. And if you use that social media for what it is, then it can be a tool. Or I learned also to search out local gyms, 24-hour fitness and LA lifestyle or whatever it is. You know what I mean? All the gyms around. And I will go on there, see who's on there, and I will send them random messages. I say, hey, nice haircut, man, nice beard. I'm a barber at such place. If you ever need a barber available, here's my contact. And guess what, bro? I will get a couple people from some of these places. Hey, man, you send me I'm coming to check you out, and I will put my booking information on there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It seems it shows you have a hustler mentality. A lot of people lack that nowadays. Yeah. I see that in this newer generation of barbers doesn't have maybe the grit that like from 90s, maybe I would say 90s barbers grew up with, or even a little bit before that. They're all just stuck in that social media, kind of like you're saying. They're all just emulating that other barber. They're all just, I always talk shit about it. It makes them look cool, but I always frown upon it. Like they just enhance the fuck out of their cuts, and they do what the other guy did, and they blow smoke in the client and make it look cool. And like, it looks cool. Don't get me wrong. Maybe I'm being a hater in some way, but you could just your talent will sell itself. I like when clients meet me. This is where I slack maybe because I still meet new clients, but I'm staffed up. I don't really, not staffed up. I'm booked up. Yeah. I could, not that I could care less, but I don't need new clients right now. But when I do meet that one person at the gym, I do this, I do that, it's hard for me to sell myself because they're like, you got like a little portfolio or something? Yeah. I just tell them, dude, I've been doing this for so long. I don't have no fucking pictures.
Yeah, but you're an established barber. Yeah. You know what I mean? When you get to that established level, you really, at that point, don't even need anything. Why? Because it's the people that you're dealing with that are bringing you people. Mm-hmm. It's you that's bringing people in. You know what I mean? It's your work ethic that's bringing people in. It's your quality of haircuts that's bringing people in. It's your attention to detail that's bringing people in. You see what I'm saying? Why? Because it's that person that's sitting down that's telling other people about you, bro. You know what I mean? Versus coming and sitting down right here, and they're just sitting there, and the barber won't even talk to them. Won't even ask them, how's your day? You know what I mean? Or even at least try to engage in something. You know what I mean? Or he just got now it's real common to see the barbers with their headphones or their earbuds and cutting hair. And I will go there like, hey, bro, what do you need? And they just like, huh? Oh, what's that, dog? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or
they got somebody right there in the chair, bro. Yeah. So if you're doing that to your supply guy, right? Bro, I'm trying to make money. I'm selling you something, but this person's paying you. And this is the treatment that you're giving your client. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? It's not fair,
Well, you got to talk to your clients too.
Absolutely.
I feel like part of my service is just me having conversation. Like,
You would honestly, this podcast has a lot to do with you knowing how to communicate with your clients.
Oh yeah,
you see what I'm saying? So it makes it
someone
easier.
helped me correlate that before too. Like I have a good way of talking because I talk to people all fucking day.
Absolutely. But if you did not have that type of conversation with your clients or that engagement with your clients, this would be very awkward.
Yeah,
I would be right here just waiting for you to ask me.
Yeah. Also, you're a good guest too, bro. I'll give that up to you because I've had guests on here where they're like, if I don't ask them something, they're just like, well, yeah, like what's next,
Yeah.
But that's just being camera shy. It's just it's its own thing you got to develop.
Well, you're a barber and I'm a barber, so I can speak that same language that you do.
You're definitely very vocal and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm always dealing with people. You know what I mean? And to do what I do, you definitely have to be a people person. You have to come and bring your best foot forward. That's why I say every time I walk into the door, no matter how bad, nobody ever knows that I'm having a bad day.
You can't show that.
You know why? Because it's not their problem. It's not their fault that I'm having a bad day or that I'm going through something. So if I'm trying to come here to try to make $1 or try to make a living, and these guys are the ones providing that for me, then why am I going to come here and have an attitude or not have at least engaging and inviting type of energy? Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And then expect for you to buy something from me, and then be mad if you don't. Like, no, that's just not the way it works, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There's sometimes I've had to check myself where I'm either just like either physically tired or emotionally tired or stressed out, whatever, where I'm like, fuck, I'm not engaging with this guy like I usually do. It's not his fault. He just wants to fucking talk. Mm-hmm. Or sometimes you can, it sounds stupid, but you can perceive someone's happy energy as like, why the fuck is this guy so happy? Fuck him,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, but but don't forget, a lot of people that come and sit in these chairs, they're looking forward for that 30, 45 minutes, bro.
Yeah.
You know why? Because it's 30 or 45 minutes that they're away from everything.
Everything else.
Everything else. So this is their, pedicure and manicure that the women go and have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The reason the women are in them parlors every 2 weeks, it's not so much just because they want to get their nails look good. It's a relaxation, man. They're getting away from the stress of the household and the kids and the hustle and bustle and work and all that. You got that 1 hour, you know what I mean, to kind of just let it go.
Yeah.
Same thing with the people that are getting haircuts. When I go and get my haircut, I sit there, man, and I enjoy it. I'm a barber, you know what I'm saying? But I enjoy it. And then, it's different, and I think that barbers, they need to understand that. You know what I mean? It's not your time, bro. It's their time. You know what I'm saying? You expect these are the people that are paying your bills.
The ones that are feeding you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And sometimes I've had barbers where they just like, well, I don't know how to build conversation. Like I've tried to teach them lessons. Like sometimes, like let's say there's a big Canelo fight, right? There's times where I'll literally repeat myself 20 times in one day. Like, hey, so you watching that Canelo fight and see what they say. Next client, hey, so you watching that Canelo fight?
Absolutely, yeah.
It's just you get everybody's intel from the same question.
There's man. If you really pay attention to your clients, they all have personalities.
Oh yeah,
and it could be in what they wear. Whether it's sneakers, maybe they're sneakerheads. I know who all my sneakerheads were, and I will always, oh damn, man, you got. Are those brand new, bro? You know what I mean? Or, oh, that's a cool hat, man. You got a new hat, huh?
Yeah.
And, where you getting your stuff at, dog? You know what I mean? And then they take over.
Yeah.
Because it's something they're passionate about. And you don't even have to say nothing. Oh, is that right? Oh, that, dog. And they'll just keep on and on and on and on.
It just needs to unload
you know what
sometimes.
I mean? Absolutely. You know what I mean? And then you're engaging in something they're interested in. You know what I mean? And then there is clients that I have that just want to be quiet.
Yeah.
They
some people
know what? You just know who they are because they're very short with their answers, and they just really want to. They just want that relaxation. They don't want to even talk. And actually, some of those are some of the bigger tippers, because if you understood that and you picked up on that and you gave them that, and then actually what happens is then you become almost in a meditation mode where you're flowing with the mood.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And now you're making them even feel more comfortable, and the haircut feels therapeutic.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? And if every stroke, it's just so many ways, man.
It's an experience, not just a haircut.
Absolutely, bro. And if you give it to them right, that's it. They'll be more faithful to you than they're probably gonna be to their wife. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
No one's fucking cut my hair besides this dude in
that's a marriage.
Years, bro.
That's a marriage. That's a marriage. You know what I'm saying? And you're not the only one. He's married to a lot of his clients. You know what I'm saying?
I feel so old when I have clients now that like I first cut their hair when they were in a carrier. And now they're like, fucking, that's my first day of high school. I'm like, God damn, how long have I been behind
Give
this
it 5 years, they're bringing you their son.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I have clients who bring me their son.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and that's that's the beauty of this industry. You know, if you're, you know, like you said, sometimes, you know, you get wore out and stuff like that. And that's just normal because you're on your feet so long, and you're engaging with different type of energy that's, you know, that people are bringing to you. So it could be exhausting, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, if you could sit here and say, you know what, to this day, I still love this industry. I love cutting hair. You know what I mean? I love what I do. I love talking to people. You know what I'm saying? Then you're in the right place. You know what I mean? Because there is barbers that just, they go to the barbershop miserable.
Oh, yeah.
And they leave miserable. There's nothing that anybody can bring to them, you know what I mean, on a positive side that's going to make them feel positive. They're going to come in negative, they're going to leave negative. They hate what they do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But they won't go and do anything else. And they know this quick money, you know what I mean? It's for sure money.
Or you get stressed out because you're not growing. But that's all on you. Like, I've had some barbers on my dude, you're going to get stressed the fuck out here. Every day you come here is going to seem worse if you don't grow. And you're just going to get stressed, end up going to work at an hourly job, you know, because you're not going to like it here.
And there's a lot of barbers that I've ran into. I've ran into a couple of them already, you know. One in Aurora, he works in Walmart, and he cuts part-time, you know what I mean? And there's another one in AutoZone, you know what I mean? And it's just like, I see them.
Are you talking about George?
No.
George, because George also works at Walmart and works here too.
No, the one that it's over there in Aurora out there. Oh. Yeah, so, and then another guy in AutoZone, I seen him, and you know, I was like, I said, bro, what you? He says, I need a for sure paycheck. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and I get it. You know what I mean? Sometimes there's people that, you know, I cannot expect anybody to have my type of hustle, my type of drive, or same thing with Chris. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes this is not for them because of what the requirement that it takes, the patience that it takes. The dedication also, you know what I mean, to come in here on the slowest day and thug that shit out. Yeah. There's guys that come in and look around, sit around for an hour. Ain't nothing going on. And we'll leave. And won't even come back. Won't even come back. Yeah. And as soon as they leave, Chris is dealing with, I'm booked up, man. I don't got nobody. You know what I'm saying? And you're constantly turning clients away. Yeah. Why? Because your barbers think that it's gonna be slow. But it's not that, bro. You know what? I always say there's really no real slow days in the barbershop. It's going to be consistent people coming in, consistent people that are looking to get a haircut. It's just the lack of barber and the lack of discipline of people in the barbershop that make it seem like it's slow. Yeah, nah, man, if you were disciplined enough to just stay behind that chair, you know what I mean? And if you are on your phone and you are one of those social media junkies, then figure out a way to use it to reach out to the people in your community. Follow people in your community, not other barbers. You know what I mean? I mean, we're already barbers. You know what I'm saying? They're not bringing you money. Follow people out there that you can bring in here. They're going to bring you money.
Dude, it's as simple as reaching out. Look, I add something flashed on your phone. Yeah, it's just I add a fuck ton of people on social media I don't even know. It's as simple as putting a post. Hey, guys, I'm in Denver. I'm having a slow day. I normally charge $40, but I'm down to do cuts right now for $25. Come on through, you know. Shit, like, it's as simple as that.
Bro, listen, you know, Mondays, I started taking Mondays off now because a lot of barbershops are closed on Mondays, and a lot of people don't work on Mondays, right? And I used to work Mondays, right? And right now in the industry, a lot of things have changed. A lot of things slowed down. My sales went down tremendously from last year. You know what I mean? I had to adjust with people just saying, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and get on that pre-order list and get paid a little bit cheaper because I know Tony's going to have it a little bit more expensive. You know what I mean? So I'm dealing with that. And it's okay. You know what? Because I understand that there's a struggle out there. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to get it from me.
Well, times is tough right now, man.
Yeah, absolutely. The only thing that I make it a point to keep stock on is your basic essentials that you're using every day, that you know, that I know for a fact you're going to run out of. Cool Care, your razors, gel, shaving gel, you know, neck strips, you know, things like that. Those type of essentials, I'm always stopped. I can always go anywhere, even if nobody ever buys any equipment from me. I can bank on selling essentials in every barbershop I go to. Yeah. You know what I mean? And, you know, and just, I don't know, man. It's just.
This all goes back to your mentality of knowing how to do it.
Absolutely.
I want to pick your brain about one thing because I always like if I feel like I can learn something from somebody, I want to ask. Hey, first of all, did you ever own your own barbershop, or you always just the cutting behind your own chair?
I've cut and I managed. You know what I mean?
So
the managing, they never go too well for me though, because my expectations of people.
that's where I'm kind of getting at, because I have an expectation for myself, and it's hard to get people to emulate what I do. How would you go? Let's just say, put yourself in let's just say my shoes, where I have that issue right now, where I have barbers here where I see potential in them, but they're just not moving, and I'm too busy to help to babysit people and tell them, hey, bro, you got to do this. Hey, bro, you got to do that. Hey, bro, log on to this. Hey, bro, take a picture of this. Take a picture. How do you think you would approach that? You think you would? Theories I've had is have like group meetings every once or twice, or once every 2 weeks, or
I know that when I worked at Fade Masters, Dre, he would have monthly meetings.
Monthly meetings.
And there were assessments, there were, whether it's, reviews or whatever, or how can we improve this on the prices and this and this and that. One thing I noticed about Dre was that not only that he has seven barbershops, which I think it was like 45 barbers, you know what I mean, that he had to oversee, and they were all in different locations. He not only did he employ barbers only that had experience, because that's half of the battle. If you got the experience and you can actually perform and execute, he would allow certain barbers just to do them. Now, when it became a cancer, when it became where, okay, this is the battle this is a battle I'm losing, you know what I mean? And let alone a war, you know what I'm saying? Then he would just let them go. He would just like, you know what?
See, that's what I would like, to just see them want to grow on them by themselves.
Yeah. So, but this is where I'm going to go, because he has so many. He couldn't just be on a one-on-one all the time. You know what I mean? He couldn't be in 7 places at one time. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
By the time he got, like I said, it was once a month, and he would visit, 2 barbershops to have those meetings or whatever, right? But through my experience of different barbershop, different owners, different barbers with different mentalities, those barbers that you need to, or that they feel you have to hold their hand and walk them through everything, I think there should be a limit to that. Because at the end of the day, if you're providing all the tools, if you're providing a blueprint for that specific barber, for his personality and everything, and he chooses not, or he or she chooses not to capitalize on that, then now you're just wasting your time.
Yeah.
Now it's a time of waste, and a possible chair that you can have the right barber that's willing to be taught, or willing to want that bar.
Yeah, they have that motivation.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And that, I think that's when you have, as an owner, have to balance that out. You know what I mean? Do you really want to put all your energy and all your ducks in this place, in this barber, and yet this barber still does not want to take the tools and everything that you're putting in his hands? You're already opening the door for him, right? You got a station for him, walk-ins and all that. And if they still not capitalizing that, then I just think that's just, at the end of the day, this is a business.
Yeah.
Right? And the image and the reputation of this business always falls on you.
Oh, yeah.
No matter what they do.
If one person fucks up, I fucked up.
Absolutely. The buck stops with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can only do so much for that person. You know what I mean? And if that person just wants to be stubborn about it, then maybe this is not the spot for you. I'm looking for people that want to grow, that want to move forward, that's going to maximize their time, you know what I mean, to take this profession and this barbershop serious.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The way you do. And you're right. It's hard for us to expect other people to emulate what we bring to the table.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because your work ethic might be way over here. Your expectations and your definition of success may be way different for somebody else. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, they're looking at it through a really small scope, but you see the lens like this.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. You see the bigger picture.
Absolutely. You see the bigger picture. And if they're not understanding what you're trying to bring to them, to help them grow, then you as an owner and as a leader, then that's when you got to make a decision. Because I understand you got to pay bills.
Mm-hmm.
And here's where that term comes, that all money is not good money. I cut a lot of barbershops loose from when I started. I used to go everywhere. And I can say there is at least a dozen barbershops I would not, and they to this day still get at me through Instagram. Hey, bro, you know, can you come over here? Well, you know what? We'll see, man. You know what I mean? Right now, I'm pretty busy.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into the back and forth. Well, this is the reason why. No. You know what? I don't got time to explain. There's a reason why I'm not going to your barbershop. Yeah. There's a reason why I'm refusing and I'm turning down the money that I could be getting from that barbershop.
Yeah.
I set my standards, my value.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you guys fuck it up, you fuck it up for yourselves. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Oh, well, you might be losing money. Yeah, maybe. But I'm going to gain somewhere else where I'm respected and value and, you know what I mean, for what I bring to the table. Yeah. And people understand my service. You know what I'm saying? So the same thing goes here. You know, it's really up to you on the standards and the culture that you want to set here, and how much are you going to allow these barbers to either be lazy or to be hard workers. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The ones that are hard workers, that, you know, then you don't have to worry about them. Then those are the ones you can actually, you know, help out even more in many other ways.
Oh, no, the ones that stand out here, I tell them, bro, like, even though you're a top earner here, whenever you're ready to open up your own shop, get at me. I'm gonna help you. There's a lot of things that you're gonna be confused about. All, you know, like paperwork, this and that. Like, oh, I got you. Like,
and there's a lot of owners that are not like that, because
they want you to stay there the whole time.
Exactly. They want it's like the government, right? That offers assistance to all the low income people, right? They'll give and give and give and give and give. And the low income people, because they're low income and they're challenged by a lot of things, they get used to that and dependent, you know what I mean? And that's as far as, you know, and the government doesn't want you to be owner. The government, that government doesn't want you to be successful, or actually have that light turn on. Oh shit, you know what I mean? Wait a minute, you know, they want to keep me like this.
Well, they call it a system for a reason.
Absolutely, you know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing. It's the same thing in the barbershop, bro. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. You know, it's really up to them to really know how successful they're gonna be. You know, because it really is not up to you. It's not your responsibility to put people in their chair. No. You know what I'm saying? You already have a door, you have a facility,
clean, you AC, have lighting.
Absolutely, you got everything. You know what I mean? All they're doing is they got all their clippers and all their stuff already there set up.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're gonna tell me that you can't put in some work
to get someone in your fucking
chair? Somebody in your chair to go out there, and you know what? And if you like really not getting anything, bro, hey man, and you know they need a haircut, hey bro, let me hook you up.
Yeah,
I got you, dog. How much is? No, don't worry about it. Let me hook you up.
They'll come back.
You know what I'm saying? That gesture alone is gonna get you a lot.
That's an old school gesture and an old school gesture that could be applied now.
Absolutely.
Bring someone in for free, record their fucking haircut, upload it.
Absolutely. And you know what? They're going to walk out with a nice haircut. Somebody's gonna like, bro, where you get the haircut at? I got it at California's. You know what I'm saying? I said, go see homeboy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he, you know what? I didn't have no money for a haircut, you know what I'm saying? And he blessed me. You know what I'm saying? And not saying that, you know, you're going to send anybody there for a free haircut, but no. If you just start with that, to send somebody out there, his gratitude alone is gonna bring him back, and he's gonna bring other people as well too.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But barbers, they look at it as, oh, I'm not giving away a free haircut.
Yeah, they
nah, bro. You know, it's another thing I hear. I don't know if I really want to spend that kind of money on a clipper. You know what I mean? And I look at them and I'm like, I said, then you're on that consumer state of mind. You know what I'm saying? How about you being an owner state of mind, where you're going to invest your money on a clipper that's going to make you money. By the end of the day, this clipper will be paid for.
Probably in a day if you do it right.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? One of my magic clips is $100, right? And you can make $100 in one day.
Make $100 in fucking one
absolutely,
haircut.
exactly. And if you pay for that clipper that day, then all you're doing is profiting for however long that clipper lasts you.
Yeah.
So you did not waste no money. You invested some money. So I educate. That's another thing about my work. I educate a lot, but my approach, it's all in the approach. I know how to approach, and I know how to make sense of what I'm speaking about, especially when they're battling whether they should buy the clip or not. I always tell them, you ain't got to buy from me. I said, there's plenty of websites out there that have this clipper for a lot more affordable. I never say cheap. You know what I mean? I say it's a lot more affordable. I told him, I said, but here's a point that I got to make. Don't ever think that you're wasting or you're spending money on something that's making you a living.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you know what? You buy this clipper for $150. Yes, that website has it for $120. But you know what? If you not only you're gonna it's $120 plus taxes, possibly shipping and handling, right? By the end of after it's all said and done, it's gonna be about $145.
Yeah.
Right? So I got it for $5 more, but I got it here. Right?
On the spot, you don't have to wait for it.
And you still gotta wait for it. And you better hope that they have it in stock, because if not, then you on back stock. You on back order. Now you gotta wait for that. You know what I'm saying? So I explain some of these things to some of these people, not to convince them to buy from me, but to look at it from another perspective, from a different point of view. You know what I mean? So they understand that, you know what? Stop thinking like a consumer, bro. You know what I mean? Especially if you're calling yourself self-employed, then you are an owner of your business. You know what I mean? Then now you start investing in your tools, in your business, and be proud of that. Be proud of your client coming in like, you got a nice piece of freaking equipment that looks freaking expensive, and the client automatically feels like, man, I'm getting
those dope.
You know what I mean? I'm getting hooked up with some really good shit. You know what I'm saying? And then you go to some barbers that their shit not only sounds like lawnmowers, just
pulling everywhere,
everything, and it's like, and I'm looking like, bro. He's asking me, do I sell parts? do you sell the part? And I'm like, no, I don't, bro. I sell everything brand new.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I believe in, just out with the old, get in with the new.
Yeah, when it comes to clippers, dude, you build them, they start breaking anyways. But it's just all that. See, this all sounds simple to you. It sounds understandable to me, and I would assume it sounds understandable to Manny and Jack, but it's that mentality. A lot of people don't have that mentality. People just go by their fucking day, and they're happy because they got, I don't know, just an example. They're happy because they have an extra $40 to go buy weed. That's like, I made it this week. Yeah. I got $40. I'm going to buy me a fucking blunt, and I'll just keep working next week. And it's just a mentality. But it all goes back to where we first started this conversation. It's where the environment you have. And, I mean, I learned a lot of shit just from talking to you today. That's why I like interviewing people. Like, when I talk to you here, that's why I was like, that'd be cool to talk to him. I think I want to pick his brain a little bit. You're an interesting guy. I mean, we've always had good conversations. We always chop it up here and there. But, man, I want to thank you for taking the time out. I know you fucking drive far.
It's all good. You know what? And I know that we're, everything's with time and everything. Here's one thing. When you asked me, and there was no hesitation about me coming out here. And the reason why is because I understand how it is to start something. And in your mind, you don't know where it's going or how far it can go and everything. But you also need people that would support and believe in what you're doing as well too. You know what I mean? And like, it goes back to saying a lot of the lazy people out there that just don't hustle and everything. Whenever something like this comes up, I'm real quick to say yes. I'm gonna support you, bro.
That's dope.
You know what I mean? When Shelly from Chopping It Up, she hit me up. She got her own podcast going, and she asked me. I went. This was about a year ago. Chris asked me. There was no doubt about it.
How you told me right away? Hell yeah, for sure.
I said, and he's, I'll pay for you guys. No, don't. You ain't gonna pay for I'm gonna come and support you. You know what I'm saying? Because who knows? down the line, you guys probably going to have one of the biggest podcasts, you know what I'm saying? You know, sitting next to Joe Rogan or whatever. You just never know, right?
You never know.
But you know what? That's why I feel that, you know what? We need to support each other. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? And not look at, oh, he just in the pocket. Nah, man, you know what? How do you know that that podcast is not going to be one of the hottest podcasts in Colorado? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And these guys are pulling in, you know what I mean? All these influential people, you know what I'm saying? They're changing lives, you know what I'm saying? They're making a difference. They're inspiring people, bringing people like me to inspire people that are going to listen to this and like, damn, this guy been through all that. I would never have known. Why? Because I don't go around talking about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm humble, and I come with the humble, my humble self, and I deal with people, you know what I'm saying? And I'm very respectful. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
good, man. But that's like one thing I noticed, like from the little conversations we had here, I saw, like I kind of painted, obviously I learned a lot more about you today, but like I kind of painted a picture, like you have this kind of mentality that I respect. You probably have a really interesting story, which you did, and I feel like it can motivate people. And who knows, maybe there's some fucking lost person right now who doesn't know what to do with their life, and it can motivate them to do their individual craft or even just pick up a fucking clipper.
Absolutely.
And you know, make a life out of that.
And you know what? And there's, like I said, I don't just close my, you know, I don't close myself. I don't limit myself. You know, I got people that will, you know, just an example. Sunday, I'm just chilling, watching football last night. And I got this guy, you know, he got at me. He's like, man, bro, I know that it's your day off. And I know that, you know, this is your time. He said, but I kind of fucked up. I should have got more prepared for the week, and I really need some stuff, man. He says I need everything pretty much, and you know, and I responded back. I told him, I said, if you're willing to drive over here, I'll open the doors for you, bro.
Oh yeah.
And you know what? He spent $340.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he went home knowing that starting today, the week, he's good for the next couple weeks. You know what I mean? Because I just, like I said, man. I'm a barber. I understand. I put myself in their shoes, and I would only had hope that if somebody was in my shoes would have done the same thing for me if I was in that need. So I don't. Nah, bro. You know, it's my day off. I'm. You know. The one thing I probably would say is like, you know what, bro? If you're willing to come to me and knock on my door, then I'll open my doors and we'll go to my van, and then you go ahead and get what you need.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I do that. I've been doing that through the whole time I've been in business. You know what I'm saying? Like, my store never closes.
Yeah.
Except when I'm dead asleep. You know what I mean? But at that time, everybody else is asleep. But the point about that is that I go above and beyond to help other people as well, too. I'm not just out here selling stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, I have knowledge of what I do. I have compassion with people.
You build relationships.
I build relationship. I empathize with people. You know what I'm saying? And then there's other people, like I said, I have cut and loose. Why? Because I got my standards, you know what I'm saying? And I know my value as a person and what I bring to you. And you know what? And whether people believe it or not, I am a great asset to people in the barbershops.
Oh, hell
you know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
dude.
You know what I mean? Because I'm saving.
Bring supplies to our fucking
Absolutely.
door. What more do we want?
You know what I mean? I'm saving you that time, that gas, you know what I mean? Or that last minute. You know, I can show up at a barbershop at the right time. It's like, oh my God, bro, we needed you, man. We brought you with our mind or whatever. And you know what, man? I changed everybody's whole mind and everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're willing to pay whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? But the one thing I do is I keep my prices. Even though I'm mobile and I can charge a whole shit ton more, I don't do that. I know where I need to be at. So they're happy and I'm happy. They're paying their bills, I'm paying my bills.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking to make millions out of this, bro. I keep that shit real, 100%. You know what I mean? I make my living. In the 3 years that I've been here, I got that truck. I've paid off my bike. I paid off my son's car. I bought a condo. I've done everything the way I was supposed to do it, right at the right time.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? When it was good, when the getting was good, I was not splurging. No, I was investing. I was paying things off. I was making things a little bit better because now when the time came, like now, where things are a little bit rough, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm paying all my bills. You know what I'm saying? So I support this. You know what I mean? And I would support, and you know, Barber, hey, bro, you know, I got this podcast coming up, whatever, you know. There's another youngster that I was supposed to go do a podcast, but we just never fell on the right track, on the same, you know what I mean?
Schedule.
But if he calls me tomorrow, like, bro, can you be here? Okay, bro, I'll be there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'll go support his podcast as well too. You know what I mean? And I support my people in my community. That's it. You know what I mean? Because the one thing that we do lack is the lack of support of each other. You got neighbors now being neighbors that don't even know their names.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Before, when I was growing up, there was nothing that I could have done out there that neighbor that I knew, my grandma, my grandpa, you know what I'm saying, was not gonna come and I'm gonna go over there to Luisito. I'm gonna let him know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let him know what I just seen right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And she's been knowing Luisito for 25 years. You see what I'm saying? So
times have changed.
It has.
I think we
It
covered
has
a lot of
changed.
important facts there. Like times have changed,
Yeah.
people have changed, but
you know what?
man.
But the thing is, even though it has changed, we still have a duty to constantly remind people how important it is to be supportive of each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That, you know what? We cannot allow for material and money and everything be the de facto of everything, because it's not everything. You know what I mean? Just like we have everything, God forbid, he leaves right now and this freaking place just come tumbling down. That's his whole world gone in one fucking minute.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if he has that attitude and he has the support of the people that he's built a relationship with, you know what I'm saying, then he can rebuild this. But if he didn't take the time to remind people or to be supportive of people or have that type of relationship with people in the community, then he just lost everything at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So even though times has changed, yes, we're changing with time, but it's important that we continue to pass down, you know what I mean, what we have, you know what I mean, with no expectations back. Because what I have, I give. If I can't, there's no way I can keep what I have if I don't learn how to give it to somebody.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And I give what I have. You know what I mean? If I know something that can make you better, and because, you know, I'm giving out game, the game is to be sold, not to be told. No, bullshit, man. If I can make this man better and he asks me questions and I got the answer to make that man's life better, I'll be damned. If I say no, I'm going to tell this man how it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No matter what.
Or do your best to give him your point of view.
Absolutely. And I'm not going to lose anything because of it. I'm still
Yeah.
going to be in business. I'm still going to have my relationship with people in the community. You know what I mean? And a lot of people, they feel they got to keep everything.
Yeah.
They want to.
It's like gatekeeping. That's what they call it. And yeah, they just don't want to share shit or
Absolutely.
ideas.
And
it's just greedy.
Yeah, and it's you know, and it's
It might not even be greed, dude. Some people just have fucked up circumstances in their life where they're kind of forced to be greedy.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know. I mean,
and you know, and man, that mindset, it really won't get too far either. You know what I mean? Because then nobody wants to fuck with you.
Oh yeah.
Because they see it right away. This motherfucker, you know, he's greedy ass motherfucker. You know what I mean? And who wants to be around a greedy ass fool or somebody that's selfish or somebody that just narcissist? You know what I mean? It's just nobody wants to be around a person like that.
no, well,
You know what I mean?
We all play and act in this life. We all have our act. We all have our role, and I think I could we could sit here for days to figure out, to try to talk to people and talk some sense into people, but at the end of the day, you know, we don't have the power to change the world, but we have the power to change our small circle, how you're saying, and that's the way we got to do. But
he took the words out of my mouth.
I don't know if you listened to any of our episodes before, but I usually let the guest end the episode with either an ending quote or phrase or. But I feel like this whole fucking episode has been a piece. I took it as knowledge. This whole episode of you talking has been just a one big piece of knowledge, and you were just explaining your story. So
you know, I always, whenever a thought comes to mind.
Oh, there you go. You save it.
I save it, and sometimes I even post it too.
Yeah, I'll let you get that ready.
So I put down, and it came to my mind, said, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you earned. You know what I mean? You know, sometimes we're in that entitlement state. You know what I'm saying? But if you ain't done nothing to earn that, you know what I mean, then you don't deserve it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? People think that, I deserve this, you know what I mean? Or because of who you're related to or whatever, you know? Nah, I think you get what you earn, man.
Oh, yeah.
What you
Listen
put
here,
into
you
it.
soft fucking pricks. You don't deserve shit. You gotta earn it. And with that, we're fucking out. Thank you, Tony, for being
That's
here.
right.
I really
Thank you for having me.
appreciate you,
I
man,
appreciate
and
it, man.
I hope you had a
brother.
good time.
Yep.
I had a fucking great time.
Oh yeah, man. Nice to
Absolutely.
meet you, brother.
With that,
Thank you.
We are
Appreciate it.
out.
Yeah.